Howdy, folks. Welcome to this week's Ag Report. So, this week we're going to talk, I guess you could call it a PSA or a public service announcement. Springtime's in the air and, the weather's starting to feel good. The sun is coming out. Just really makes you want to get outside, stretch your legs. Maybe you've brought your four wheeler or your side by side home from deer camp. And, you're like, well, I'm going to go get the wind in my face and let my hair blow, that kind of stuff, and go for a ride. So I just encourage you when you go for a ride on that four wheeler, that motorcycle, even in Jeeps and pickups and stuff, just remember, contact the folks that you're riding on the land. Make sure you have permission to go out there. Remember, open land is not public land. Just because there's not a fence there doesn't mean that it's open access. And most importantly, for your farmers and your ranchers, you may see a field that is plowed and nice and smooth. And you may think, well, no harm done there. I'm just going to go ride around on that. Well, I'm here to tell you that does cause harm. Can cause compaction. It can, prevent seed from coming up. Maybe that field was planted and you didn't know that, and that seed hadn't spiked out of the ground yet. So it can disrupt the germination on that seed. And most importantly, remember that us farmers have spent hundreds of dollars to get that field looking that way, nice and smooth, level for us to run our machines over and everything. And especially, right now we have a wheat crop that's coming to joint and starting to push up heads and looks really pretty, like a nice thick astroturf yard out there. But again, it's at the point in its life that if you drive over it, even if you walk out there and take pictures, you break it off. It's in the joint and you're breaking it, and it doesn't come back. It doesn't stand back up. And so that is a loss. There is a monetary cost to getting all of those fields looking that way, whether it's a plowed field or it is a hay meadow. There is a lot of money invested by us farmers to get that into that shape. Even though you may not see a crop there, we have invested a lot of time and money and effort, fuel into that. So it doesn't take very much damage to get that into a felony offense. So we're going to take a second and visit with some law enforcement that can share with you the legalities of that offense and what that means to you.
I'm Brad Norman. I'm the sheriff of Ellis County, and I'm coming to you today to talk to you a little bit about us taking care of our natural resources and especially taking care of our farmers and ranchers in the area. It has been a problem for some time for people with four-wheel drive trucks or ATVs or side-by-sides, what have you, going through farmers' fields with crops in them, and even sometimes with livestock, going through fences and whatever to go, quote, four-wheeling. I do want you to know that this is a criminal offense to do that, and the offense is criminal mischief. Criminal mischief is when if a person commits an offense without the effective consent of the owner, intentionally or knowingly damages or destroys a tangible property of the owner. So those offenses can range everything from a Class C misdemeanor, which is a citation, all the way up to a first-degree felony, depending upon the amount of damage to the crop or to the livestock or whatever. In particular, we're talking about crops. So a Class C misdemeanor is if there's a loss of less than $100, and it's a citation. A Class B misdemeanor is a loss of $100 or more, but less than $750. A Class A misdemeanor is a pecuniary loss of $750 or more, but less than $2,500. State jail felony is $2,500, but less than $30,000. Third-degree felony is going to be a pecuniary loss of $30,000, but not more than $150,000. And a felony of the second degree is going to be a pecuniary loss of $150,000, but less than $300,000. And then actually there is even in criminal mischief, a felony of the first degree, which is a pecuniary loss of over $300,000 or more. So as you can see, it doesn't take a lot of damage to rack up a substantial amount of pecuniary loss. Just to let you know, as far as the offense, a Class C misdemeanor is punishable by a fine not to exceed $500. Class B misdemeanor is a fine not to exceed $2,000 and confinement in jail for a term not to exceed 180 days. The next grade up is a Class A misdemeanor. This is a fine not to exceed $4,000 and confinement in jail for a term not to exceed 1 year. And then we can get into felonies. And state jail felony basically is any term not more than 2 years, less than 180 days, and could be up to a fine of $10,000. Third degree felony is not more than 10 years and not less than 2 years, and could be accompanied by a fine of up to $10,000. Second degree felony is a term of no more than 20 years, no less than 2 years, and again a fine not to exceed $10,000. And then the highest offense is the first degree felony, which is life or for any term not more than 99 years or less than 5 years in addition, and could also be accompanied by an additional $10,000 fine. So it's a real issue, and it's a real problem. We've had several cases of it this year, and when we've been able to identify who did it, we have charged that person with a criminal offense. Several have been fined. Several have been charged with what will end up being jail term. So what we need is your help. If you see somebody in a field doing this stuff, we need you to call 911. Let us know. Let us get a deputy out there to try to get these people caught. If they're in a vehicle that has a license plate, like a 4-wheel drive truck or a Jeep or something like that, try to get a license plate, a good description, try to take pictures, anything that you can do to help us identify the person that was in that vehicle, so we can get these people taken care of and get them off the street, and try to help our farmers as much as we can. So one thing I would like to add is there are plenty of places that you can go and use your 4-wheel drive or your ATV, side-by-sides, whatever, on places that are designed for that. One is Texplex over in Midlothian. Those kinds of parks, it's fine. If you know the landowner and you have of a place that you would like to do this, you just make sure you have their permission. If you have their permission, then that's not illegal, and we have no issue at all. I guarantee you there's not a landowner that's going to give you permission to do that on a crop, on some that they've taken a lot of time and money and energy to get planted and fertilized and everything else. But as long as you have permission from the landowner, we don't have an issue with that whatsoever. So again, we encourage you to 4-wheel and ATV responsibly. Thank you.
So keep that in mind, that it's not open land. Be sure you've got permission from the farmer, the landowner, before you go out there. Most of all, we want you to be safe, be careful, and just think about that producer. Even those cattle producers, maybe just grass out there, but they're trying to keep that field as smooth as possible, so that when they bring their hay equipment across it, it doesn't bounce them around and tear up their equipment. And as always, you got to also remember, they may have done some herbicide work or something like that on those fields that you don't know about. So when you're not communicating with that landowner and that farmer, and you're going out in there, there could be some residue that was just left out there that you don't know about. And so that's important, that you don't go into places that you haven't talked with folks about. So anyways, just wanted to share this with you. It's springtime. It's feeling good. I'm going to work on my farmer's tan a little bit, see if I can even that out in there, so that you don't need sunglasses when you walk by me. So if y'all have any questions about some of the land around, or what damages may look like, and that kind of stuff, reach out to the Waxahachie Sun. We're always happy to kind of share any information that we can and answer questions. Y'all take care now.